Hi, I'm Anita Cantrell. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to set up and create your own custom patch on the Nord Stage 3. We're going to basically set up a piano and pad. And this is just a basic setup with a split keyboard. I'm going to show you how to have a pad on the lower portion of the keyboard and piano over the whole board. And how to choose and select a synth pad, how to select a piano, and how to put those together and save and create your own custom named patch. So let's get right into it. In this video, I'm going to cover how to actually set up your own patch from scratch and how to save it and how to name it. So the first thing you want to do is go to an empty space on your Nord. You can find that by cycling through the program knob. This main knob right here allows you to cycle through all the different programs. These are all ones that I've created in this M through the end through P banks. So actually I'm going to go back to this L bank, which is right next to my main M bank, and so I have an empty patch right here. So in this window, program window, you see the name, the bank that you're in, and the number of the patch. So I'm on L55 and it says empty. So we're going to fill it. If you want an organ, you can activate the organ on by turning it on. We'll go over how to create an organ patch in a later video. But for right now, we're just going to create a simple piano and pad patch. So the first thing you want to do is activate the piano. Let's see, let me get my video. There we go. Get a better shot. So let's turn on the piano engine. Okay, there we are. Now, then in the window, you see it's currently on Royal Grand 3D. Extra large just means the size of the sample. It's a bigger sounding sample. I don't have any effects or anything on it right now, so it's just flat. So that's a nice one. If you want to change that, you want something else. In this piano section here, piano select, this is where you would cycle through all the various options of grand, uprights, electric EPs, clavinovas, etc. And how you change that within each bank is this program knob right here, where it says model. So I'm going to go with, let's see, do we like Grand Imperial? I love Grand Lady D. It's a nice sounding piano. Let's go with that. So we've chosen our piano. Next, we're going to add a pad to go under it. So you do that by activating the synth engine, and we'll come over here so you can see that. So right now, if you're on an empty patch and you turn on the synth engine, you're going to get, you turn down the piano so you can hear. You're going to get that. What that allows you to do, if you have the know how to do it, is to create a patch from scratch. You select your oscillator, select your waveform pattern, and go from there. That's a much more in-depth video on how to do that. And I know just enough to be dangerous of how to do that. So what we're going to do is find a patch that's already in the factory bank, or one that I've already created. So in the previous overview that I gave, I mentioned that you need to have both of these buttons. These are banks of your patches, of your samples that are actually located on your keyboard. So the way I go about finding a synth pad is I activate this list function. And I do that by holding down this gray shift button, hold that, and turn the list button. The synth selection button, we'll call that an official name. So now you get a list. You have a bank name at the top. I'm in the synth pad. bank. I don't know if you can see this. There we go. So I'm in the synth pad bank. And then you can just turn this knob and cycle through all the patches. Now, if you just want to see individual samples, hold down this shift and toggle through the mode until just samples are listed. So now these are in categories, but you can't really use the category button to cycle through that. You can just cycle through individual patches that way. I prefer using a category function. So what I want to do is hold shift and activate this mode again. Turn my list back on while I'm holding shift. So now I can cycle through preset user patches that I've saved into the user bank. You can get back to your synth pad. You have synth classic, synth lead, and synth pads. And then you can just demo until you find the pad that you want. Let's find just a basic, yeah, synth pad 2. Yeah, it's okay. Let's see, warm pad 2 is one I used to use a lot. Don't use it much anymore. This is Synth Strings 2 is a patch that I actually customized and saved. So we'll just use that for now. Gonna adjust the warmth of it. There we go. Get some of that muddiness out of it. And so let's just go with that. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be that patch. There are literally hundreds to choose from. So, but for the sake of this video, we're going to go with this one. So once you have your synth pad selected, or your sound, whatever, then you're just going to hit exit. So now in this window, you see that you have the one that we selected, Synth Strings 2. And also when you look over back in your main panel window, now in this lower portion of the synth section, you'll see Synth Strings 2. If we change it, it'll change it in this window as well. It changes it here in the synth window, and then it changes also here as well. So let's get back to Supersaw. What was it? Synth Strings 2. There we are. We're back. And I did that just by turning this synth program selection knob right here, right next to the volume knob. Okay? So now we have a pad and piano. Bring the piano back up. See, I'll get back to this main view here that you can see what I'm doing. So now I have the pad up about halfway. I'll bring the piano back some. This out, you can see the keyboard a bit. There we go. So right now, when you look at both of these sections, all 4 lights are lit here in the zone selection. These lights indicate which zone your piano or synth pad or organ are covering. So right now, all 4 lights mean that I have piano over the whole 88 keys, and I have synth over all 88 keys. If I want to split these, then I'm going to activate this split feature. Turn it on. So you have low, mid, high. So right now I just want 2 zones. And this green light is the indicator for where you want the split point to be. And you can adjust the split point by holding down the split button. And then you get this screen here. And you can let go of that. And then you just simply turn the program knob to adjust. You can see the green light move as I'm turning this. So C4, F4, I usually have it somewhere in this general area for just a basic piano and pad. So then you can also adjust the width. We can go over this in a more in-depth detail, but you can adjust the width where you have piano that carries over 6 half steps, up to 6 half steps within this zone area, past the zone into whatever other zone you're on. So how you get your piano, let's exit out of that. So exit. So now I still have piano over all 88 keys. I still have synth over 88 keys. How do I split them up? I have my split point set. So by holding shift and tapping the zone select, the on off button. Now these lower 2 buttons indicate that the piano is on the lower half. I actually want my piano over the whole board, so I'm going to just toggle through until all 4 lights are lit up. But I want my synth pad, to be just on the lower portion. So I'm going to hold down shift and tap on and off. And now the lower 2 green lights are lit. And that indicates that I only have synth pad. So I'll turn the piano off so you can hear there's nothing on this upper above the green light. As I go down the keyboard, so I have my pad down here, turn the piano back on. And what that allows me to do is play pad with the left hand and do leads or melody with the right hand without it having a mushy synth pad play at the same time. It creates a cleaner sound, I think. So to save this, now we're going to save. We got our patch, we got our split set up. Now we're going to save this this patch. So how we're going to do that is by using this red store button. This is a very important button. Yep, actually accidentally hit it. But what you want to do, you can just come out of that and hit exit, is activate the store function by hitting it once. If we do that once, it's going to save this and it's going to be called empty, unnamed. What we want to do though, we want to name it. So how we do that, underneath there, you see store as. So by holding down the shift, which activates the sub-function of this button, holding down shift, we're going to tap store. Now we're getting asked store program as, and now we're going to name it. So we're going to do that. Each of these virtual buttons you see here correlate to the buttons below it. See the line going down? So we're going to name it by holding down the first button, which activates the alphabet. So let's say, just for the heck of it, we're going to name it, wrong knob. To cycle through the alphabet, you're going to turn this main program knob right here. And we're just going to cycle through. Yeah. So now we're on P. Lift up, and then that goes back to lowercase. And it also toggles between the next letter. So piano. We want a space, go all the way to the left, and you'll see it empty. As you lift up, then press down again and hold it. While you're holding it, you turn it. Let's just call this piano pad. So as you continue to cycle through the alphabet until you have your name up, then once you get it named, then we're going to put it in a category. The next thing is category. So then we're going to cycle through, and I like to put all my custom patches in the user category. So when I'm looking for them, if I need to on the software editor, I can just bring up the user category and I can find all my custom patches. So now we have our name, we have the category. Now we're going to save it. And we're saving it to this location, this L55. So while the store is blinking, you want to just hit that again. And now it's saying store program to L55. And there we are. piano pad L55. All right. Anytime you make changes to this patch, you wanna save it. So let's say you want to add some reverb or delay or effects or soften it. Let's just add that right there. So we like that feature on the piano. Let's listen to it. It doesn't really do much on this one. Say you want a kind of an old upright sound, or you change the piano sound altogether. Velvet is really nice. Add some reverb. I'm turning the reverb on. Nice. So now we've changed something. If I don't save this, I will lose it once I turn the keyboard off or change to a different patch. So the way we want to save any changes we make is by hitting the store button. So hit it once to activate the store feature. It's blinking, that means it's activated. And then it's asking you store program to this particular program location and name. And so we hit it again and it saves your changes. So there you are. That's how you create your own custom patch. So I hope you found this video on how to set up and create your own custom patch helpful. If you did, please be sure and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to be notified as more videos are posted. There is so much more you can do with patches. We'll be talking about the panel, the A and B panel buttons in a future video, and how you can layer sounds within a custom patch. You can do a lot of interesting things with that and have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, there's a ton more that we can talk about just with setting up patches. So be on the lookout, hit that notification button. Thanks.